We're listing only the top shelf brands here along with some stunning pictures. This includes the best watch brands known as the Holy Trinity, which is comprised of Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and Vacheron Constantin, as well as many other luxury watchmakers such as Jaeger-LeCoultre JLC, Blancpain, Ulysse Nardin, Rolex, Jacquot Drawes, and more. Although this is a very comprehensive list, it is not in any particular order, though we may harp on the Holy Trinity watches a bit for obvious reasons. Every last one mentioned here is an excellent watchmaker worth considering if you're starting a collection or just curious. What is the number one watch brand? 1. Patek Philippe. Known for inventing the very first wristwatch, Patek Philippe & Co. has become a top watchmaker and is one of the most sought after in the world. Everyone would agree that it would be a disservice to make a top 10 list and not mention this watchmaker. Patek Philippe is one of the 3 Holy Trinity watchmakers. Some of their most popular models include the Nautilus, Aquanaut, World Time, 24, Calatrava, and more. In addition to their many popular models, Patek Philippe was commissioned to create some of the world's most complicated watches for many high-profile individuals such as James Ward Packard and Henry Graves. The Graves Super Complication, one of the most exclusive watches ever made, was sold for an astounding $11 million USD in 1999 at a New York auction and featured 24 complications that took 8 years to research and create. Many consider them to be the best watch brand in the world, and this is why they were listed first in our top 10 luxury watch brands. Aside from being considered one of the best watch brands, another great accomplishment of Patek Philippe at one point was the creation of the world's most complicated watch known as the Patek Philippe Calibre 89 with 33 complications. At the time, it was the watch with the most complications until recently when another watchmaker in the Holy Trinity outdid them by a landslide. To many, Patek is a watch brand luxury buyers consider to be the cream of the crop, one of the most expensive luxury brands, and they have created some of the most exclusive watches. Famous wearers include Brad Pitt, Eric Clapton, Charlie Sheen, and the first celebrity to wear one was Queen Victoria. The price range is between 5 figures and 8 figures depending on the model. 2. Vacheron Constantin. Next in our famous watch brands list is the oldest continuously operating watchmaker in the world. It is a brand that brings hundreds of years of watchmaking history with it. Since 1755, Vacheron Constantin is also another Holy Trinity watch brand and has been creating some of the most unbelievably unique and creative horological masterpieces. The best example of their mechanical genius would be the recently released Vacheron Constantin Reference 57260, also known as the world's most complicated watch with a mind-blowing 57 complications and which has an estimated value at $8 million according to Forbes. Even before this amazing feat, they were considered to be a top luxury watchmaker. As a member of the Holy Trinity, Vacheron Constantin is one of Switzerland's top watchmakers and had built the company around the principles of achieving technical and aesthetic excellence as demonstrably characterized by their many horological achievements and innovations throughout the years. In doing so, they have become one of the best international watch brands. Some of their most notable collections include the Patrimony, the Traditionnelle, the Overseas, Malt, 1972, Quide Lyle, Harmony, Metiers d'Art, and Les Historiques. A truly luxurious watch brand, and any seasoned watch connoisseur would agree that they are one of the most prestigious of all. 3. Audemars Piguet. Another member of the prestigious Holy Trinity in watchmaking, Audemars Piguet has been manufacturing some of the most spectacular watches since being founded in 1875. They are certainly considered by most to be one of the top 10 watch brands in the world today. The collection for which they are most famous is the AP Royal Oak series. This is an iconic watch collection that was a major game changer for Audemars Piguet, who was the first to use a non-precious metal, stainless steel in the latest sports watch design, and charge luxury prices. Audemars Piguet then produced its underwater version of the iconic watch, the Royal Oak Offshore series, which became one of the most popular diving watches in history. As one of the Trinity, AP has consistently over-delivered throughout the years and is highly respected. The advent of the Royal Oak watch opened doors for many luxury watchmakers to use their horological expertise as a pricing factor rather than just the precious metal used. Whereas a watch used to be worth its weight in gold, many are now worth more than its weight in gold regardless of what material is being used. Aside from their many haute horloger watches, Audemars Piguet has been known to be quite avant-garde on the design end of the business and created several haute joaillery pieces such as their Diamond Pink and Diamond Fury watches for ladies. AP watches are also known for their many limited editions and high complication watches such as the Jules Audemars. They are a luxurious watcher whose name is worthy of being in your horology lexicon. 4. Blancpain. Blancpain was established in 1735 and is slightly older than Vacheron Constantin but did not operate under the Blancpain brand from the day it was established. They have contributed much to the advancement of watchmaking techniques and produced watches containing some of the most complicated movements. Blancpain is the pioneer in creating diving watches with their iconic 50 fathoms timepiece, the world's first ever diver's watch. Blancpain had since produced many fine collections including Le Brassus, Lemon, Villeret, Novelties, Specialties, and Sport. They are one of the top 10 watch brands in the world and worthy of much praise. One of the more noteworthy achievements that attributed to the respect this brand deserves is the innovations it made to the tourbillon complication. Blancpain created a flying tourbillon, which is an innovation to the original tourbillon design created by Breguet almost 200 years earlier. The new and improved version housed the complication in a cage with a ball bearing, allowing the wearer to marvel at the tourbillon in full action. 5. Ulysse Nardin. In 1846, Ulysse Nardin opened its manufacture. At the time, it was not more than a watch stand, but soon became one of the powerhouses in the watch industry. They create everything from classic minimalist design series such as the San Marco Classico to the flashy and complicated Hour Striker, Sonata, and El Toro GMT plus perpetual calendar collections. Other modern collections include the Quadrato Dual Time and Dual Time Perpetual. Ulysse Nardin is quite famous for their marine chronometers, such as the Maxi Marine Chronometer and their Marine Chronograph. With their marine watches, Ulysse Nardin has cornered a segment in timekeeping where they truly shine brighter than the North Star. That's not to say that this watchmaker can only produce a high-end marine watch. Ulysse Nardin makes many types of stunning watches, including the Caprice Ladies collection, the unconventionally looking Freak series with its carousel tourbillon complication, and its impressive 7-day power reserve, and of course their super high-end royal blue tourbillon, some with a list price of over $1.2 million, giving them a place in haute joaillery and haute horlogerie. This is why they were included in the top 5 luxury watch brands. 6. Jaeger-LeCoultre. Jaeger-LeCoultre is a Swiss luxury brand of watches that is highly respected by its peers. Many believe it is to be one of the best luxury watch manufacturers and arguably one of the most vertically integrated prestigious watchmakers in the world. One of the reasons for this is that they produce their own movements in-house as well as many of their components in-house. Watchmakers that can produce in-house movements are usually held up on a pedestal and celebrated for their ability to control quality and craftsmanship down to the finest detail. Few manufacturers produce as many components on their own as Jaeger-LeCoultre, affectionately called JLC by watch collectors and watch connoisseurs the world over. For the above reasons, they were put at the 6th position in our top 10 luxury watch brands. JLC produced many timeless classics such as the Reverso, which is a square watch with a unique ability to flip over to protect its face. This iconic collection gave birth to much newer reverse series, which include an ultra-thin dual-dialed series called the Grande Reverso Ultra-Thin Duo Face. This 2-in-1 watch series has a dark dial on one side of the case, while the flip side of the case has a light-colored dial. Jaeger-LeCoultre also produced many other popular series such as the Amvox Tourbillon, Master Control, the JLC Geophysic, Master Compressor, and Master Ultra Thin Collection, which includes several models with super thin perpetual calendars, one of which was recently featured in the Marvel film titled Doctor Strange, along with the JLC Grande Reverso. In addition to their esteemed luxury watches, Jaeger-LeCoultre produces high-end torsion pendulum clocks called Atmos clocks, which requires no winding. Rather, it gets its energy from atmospheric pressure and temperature, literally air. 7. Omega. Omega SA is one of the more popular brands of luxury watches, yet they are not necessarily one of the most expensive watch brands out there compared to many watchmakers mentioned here. They have their Seamaster watches featured in major films throughout the years. Films such as, say, every James Bond movie since GoldenEye featuring Pierce Brosnan and every 007 film that followed featuring Daniel Craig. Most notably famous for their moon watch, the Omega Speedmaster Pro, which was on the wrist of Buzz Aldrin as he took his first steps on the lunar surface. Having their watches flight qualified by NASA for a space mission such as Apollo 11 was instrumental in bringing up the prestige of this brand. Omega is, in fact, the second most recognized Swiss watch brand in the world, with approximately 70% international brand recognition. They are owned by a watch conglomerate called Swatch Group. In terms of watchmaking, Omega has made numerous innovations by employing a material that is impervious to electromagnetic interference, the one enemy of mechanical watches when it comes to keeping accurate time. While some consider Omega a designer watch brand with their entry-level watches starting at a much lower price point than some of the previously mentioned top watchmaking brands, they actually have watches that run into the six figures price point, specifically the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moon Watch Limited Edition with only 69 pieces worldwide, the number commemorating the year of the moon landing. Any watch that costs over $100,000 could easily be considered a luxury item by any standards. 8. Glushut Original. When it comes to high-end watches, people usually think of Switzerland, and Swiss watchmakers make up the bulk of the pack. There are exceptions though. Glushut Original is a Saxonian/German brand, which, no surprise here, German engineering is world famous, especially when it comes to mechanical engineering. Glushut Original is one of the few luxury German brands that really stand out. They are arguably one of the most understated in the industry. Their watches have immaculately executed craftsmanship. Their ever-popular Pano series are not just stunning but very well made. They produce many complicated watches including tourbillons, chronographs, perpetual calendars, and more. Some of Glushut Original's most popular collections include the many Senator watches, the 60s, 70s, Panalunar, Panograph, Panamatic, as well as a lady collection which includes the Panamatic Lunar. 9. Rolex. It would be a shame if we didn't mention a brand like Rolex, which has the most recognized watch brand in the world with literally 100% brand recognition. But though they are the most famous of all famous watch brands, let's acknowledge them for their watchmaking skills, not just for their popularity. Rolex produces some rather amazing watches, and lots of them. It is estimated that their production is approximately 2,000 watches per day. One of the things about this most famous watch brand is that people rant and rave about the fact that they have a higher average resale value than any other watch brand on the market. This can directly be attributed to the fact that Rolex is, if not the most, certainly one of the most valuable watch brands in the world. Rolex makes some of the most popular men's watches. Some of their most popular collections include the Daytona, Submariner, GMT Master II, Datejust, Yachtmaster, Yachtmaster II, Date 8, Skydweller, and much more. As an adventurous luxury watch brand that has seen its watches at the highest peak on Earth and the lowest abysmal depth of our planet's waters, they also pride themselves on the accuracy of their watches, as many of them hold a superlative chronometer designation, meaning that they have an accuracy of +2–2 seconds per day. A regular COSC certified chronometer, which is considered an impressive watch movement, has an accuracy of +6–4 seconds per day. Rolex also makes some of the best men's luxury sports watches. 10. Jaquet Droz. A watchmaker that started off as an exquisite clockmaker, Jaquet Droz was the first to open a factory in Geneva, Switzerland, and soon became one of the top 10 watch brands in the world. His mechanical genius produced watches that embedded some of the wisdom used in generating their exceptional grandfather clocks and featured many watches with automata, and what separates them from other high-end watchmaking brands is that they are considered a more refined brand for those with only the most exquisite taste. The company's founder traveled the world and produced masterpieces that were each uniquely inspired by the regions that were visited. Often found in France, Jacques Dras presented Queen Marie Antoinette of France with his watches. His pieces were often found in royal courts throughout the civilized world. The emperor in Beijing of the Qing dynasty was marveled by his work and set up offices to import these fascinating mechanical works of art. What made Jacques Dras so unique was his ability to combine his art with precision micromechanics and produce timepieces that were both mechanically complicated and as aesthetically pleasing as fine art. With models such as those found in the La Choix Fons Complications collection, which featured watches such as the Quantreme Perpetual Eclipse, the Rat Trapinti, and the chronograph Mono Pusher, this luxury watch brand is known for producing elegantly designed, complexly engineered masterpieces. Jacques Dras has many popular collections which include the Grande Second, Petite Heure Minute, Les Ateliers d'Arts, Grande Second SW, Lady 8, Grande Heure, and Estrelle collections.